Don't change the channel.
2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 13, here beginneth the reading of God's holy word. And it was so that when they that bare the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatlings. The word of the Lord for the people of God. You can take your seat. I tell you. It matters how you handle God's presence, y'all. It matters how you handle his presence. We continue the year theme, Kingdom Authority. We are on the series, Kingdom Dynamics, the Life and Legacy of David. And today we want to minister from the sermon topic, I am worship. I am worship. Now, just as a throwback, the last time that I stood before you, I ministered from the sermon topic, idol worship. And so we're going to make a direct contrast. Now, we've learned about what idol worship is. It's being distracted. It's being taken away from the I am. It's somehow the enemy is subtle. He'll do it to the most seasoned saint. And today now we want to progress from idol worship to I am worship. I begin. One of the most challenging situations is to be at the top of your field. To be the best at anything is to be tempted to consider oneself untouchable, untrainable, and hence unteachable. People at the top of their field begin to change the rules of expectation. What was wrong can become their new right. What was unacceptable can conveniently become acceptable. Let me give you a couple of examples we would definitely know about. Tiger Woods, 20 years ago, became a family man at the top of his game. And he went from being a family man to a philanderer. Whitney Houston, Prince, and so many other gifted singers succeed in singing but lose their souls. Priests and pastors preaching the Bible while perverting the message of the Bible in their private lives. One must be careful of when they reach the height of their sport, their career, or their ministry, that they do not get caught up in I worship. I worship. I worship. It places you before anyone. It pleases you before anyone. It promotes you before anyone. And let me say here, Shekinah Worship Center, and I certainly hope that I don't have to lay before you a number of experiences or examples of how I promote people, how I push people, how I plan that others walk in the prophetic calling of their own purpose and destiny by pushing people to lead, pushing people to sing, pushing people to teach, pushing people to preach. Because it's not about I, it's about I am. I worship is trouble. It is also one of the first acts that God forbade. Leviticus 19:4, turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God. Isaiah 44:9, they that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit, and they are their own witnesses. They see not, nor know, that they may be ashamed. Psalm 16:4 says, their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. Last time I told you that idol worship is subtle. It places you first before you even know it. It is guided by your emotions, which are very emotive, rather than you being guided by God. This is where we left King David. He had reached the top position, and this changed his disposition. He caused the other people to follow him instead of following after God. I don't want you to follow me. I want you to follow me after I follow God. So now God has to teach a lesson. Let's follow the lesson of today, church, as we look at the following 3 points. Point number 1, the blessing place. The blessing place. Point number 2, the blessing path. The blessing path. And point number 3, the blessing prohibition. The blessing prohibition. Let's deal with it. Point number 1, the blessing place. Church, I never want to be without the blessing of God. Our aim, our desire is to always experience the flow of God's blessings that flow, as it were, from the head of the priest Aaron. In other words, you just don't want a blessing. You want the anointed blessing. You just don't want a blessing from your friend, from your body, your ace girl, your ace boy, but you want the blessing that emanates from the very presence of God. There's something about that blessing. Yet because David has operated in flesh, God rebuked him and there was death. Now the ark rests in the house of another and they are being blessed. Can I park it right there for a moment? Huh? That I never want to experience the church experience at Shekinah Worship Center without the blessing. I never want to know that God is blessing over there, but I can hardly feel him right here. Everybody who comes into the house of the Lord should be seeking the ark, seeking the presence of God, seeking the approval of God, seeking the anointing of God. Verse 11 says this, 2 Samuel 6 and 11. And the ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite, 3 months. And the Lord, a 3-month blessing. Catch this, church. How long would you allow God's presence to be out of your midst before you ate for the presence of God? How long can some Christians, even here at Shekinah, be satisfied coming in the house but never experiencing the Shekinah or the Shekinah or the overflow of the manifestation of who God is? See, I just don't want to be in the place. I want to feel the glory of the place. I want to feel the presence of God in the place. It's in the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite, 3 months. And the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his... See, I'm just getting a little picture here. He blessed Mrs. Obed-Edom, little Obed-Edoms, blessed us, watch this now, blessed the household slave of Obed-Edom. Huh? Blessed, come on, I said, I ain't finished yet. Everything that was in his possession, everything that worked to make sure that his household ran right. Now watch this. The car was blessed. The oxen was blessed. Everything, the Bible said it, everything, all his household. Ain't no way I'm going to be without the presence of the Lord. 3 months. I can't miss 3 Sundays. I can't miss 1 Sunday. I'm like, what's going on down there? I get jealous. Something about the presence of the Lord. Now, if you're, wherever the ark is, that place is blessed. Though God is everywhere and is aware of everything, this does not mean that God blesses everything. Come on. Come on. Hey. I wouldn't, listen, I'm not making an altar call now, but if you haven't felt God's presence, if you haven't felt God's glory yet, check out where your ark is. Check out where your worship is. This is the sole purpose that we come into the house of God, to connect with God in a way so that the next 6 days we can experience the overflow of the shadow of the anointing, so that whatever pain we may go through, the joy we may go through, we understand that God's presence is with us. It's not tarrying somewhere else. It's not continuing somewhere else. God's presence is right here with us. God, watch it now, blesses his presence. God blesses those who seek to honor his presence in all that they do. It does matter how you carry God's presence. I don't want you up here leading praise and worship and you don't look like praise and worship. What? When the deacon comes down and he's doing all his doing, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Because the glory of God deserves all my energy. The glory of God if I want God to give me life, then I got to give him life. If I want God to bless me this week, then I got to bless him this day. If I want God to bring joy to my life, I'm going to bring joy in the house of the Lord. What do you have that you've given to God today? I like my ushers dancing. I'll stop at the drop of a hat. You saw that mother in Zion moving up here? I join with her. Because it's glory in the presence. God's presence don't come by you like, impress me. I'm impressed with God. I'm amazed at God. And I'm wondering what he's going to do next. Might I say here that it is not come as you are. No, it is come as God has mandated that you come. God said, answer a certain way. He didn't say, if Brother Herman got you mad, you can skip that. You ain't got to enter into his gates with thanksgiving because Herman did you wrong. Herman did you wrong. No. Jennifer looked at me a certain way. You're excused. Herman ain't my God. Jennifer ain't my God. But the God that woke me up this morning, the God that started me on my way, it is him that I've come to worship, him that I've come to magnify. That's why the psalmist could say, magnify the Lord with me. He's the king. He's leading it. He said, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. Says not come as you are. God has given a mandate. Come in reverence. Come and worship him in spirit and in truth. So the ark is now in the home of Obed-Edom. And the verse tells us, verse 2, it continued there. That word took my time right there. I was in the hotel in Boston. Continued there? You mean if the blessings continue there? Well, hold on now. This is the Old Testament. That means if the blessings continue there, they're not continuing here. I have a problem with that. Let's look at this word continued. It comes from the word yashab. And it means dwell, habitate, sit. Lord have mercy, God's presence sitting in somebody else's house. Abide, inhabit, remain, tarry, set. It's still right there. No wonder this house was blessed. God's abiding presence brings blessings. His name is Obed-Edom. He is a Levite who knows how to handle, Lord have mercy. Because wasn't that the lesson? Isn't that why the Ark of the Covenant is not with David? Because though he be king, he mishandled who God is. And so now God's going to teach you a lesson, David. God's going to teach you a lesson how to handle his presence. Obed-Edom is a Levite who knows how to handle the presence of God. Obed-Edom, this took my time, is a singer and a doorkeeper. Oh, come on up out of here. Come on. So Obed-Edom going to teach the master musician. Oh, come on. Come on. Listen, I may not sing the best, but this girl will sing. I may not dance the best, but this girl will dance. I'm telling you, whatever I do, I'm going to do to the fullest because I know that God is checking out my praise, checking out the worship. So here's a musician and a doorkeeper, a singer. Obed-Edom might say it. Interesting, because David is a singer musician, and he said this in Psalms 84 and 10. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. I have a feeling this is where he picked up the verse. Why that musician got God's presence. He's a doorkeeper. I'd rather be a doorkeeper. I believe that on that day, David gave up temporary possession of his kingship because he realized that that title meant nothing without the presence of God. Can we park it right there, church, and realize that whatever we accomplish in the world, whatever we accomplish in our family, whatever we accomplish on our job, whatever we accomplish in Bermuda, it means nothing without the presence of God. It means nothing without his presence. Church, David is now getting it. That bigger than his name, his game, and his fame is the presence of God. You like that, Mother Sumner? You like that? I'll say it again for you. David is now getting it, Mother Sumner. That bigger than his name, his game, and his fame is the presence of God. Lord have mercy. Huh? It's the biggest thing there is. It took 3 months without the presence and the blessings of God. Don't let it take 3 months, church. Don't let it take that long. Huh? Don't admire what God's doing over somewhere else. Allow him to do it for you. Verse 12. And it was told King David, saying, the Lord has blessed the house of Obed-Edom, and all that pertaineth unto him, because of the ark of God. So, it means David understood it, you see. So David went, see, you have to, when you follow the text, the so means S-O and S-E-W. And S-O-W. Means something's been served, and it means something's been served. So something that was amiss, that he had missed, he now says, oh, I get it now. So, because of all that, Obed-Edom getting the blessing, his whole household, even the slaves being blessed. So David went and brought up the ark of God from, yeah, I know how to snatch back God's presence. Hey, you got to know how to go where God is and say, I want it back. I want it back. I know I mishandled it, but I miss you, God. God, I miss you, God. I miss singing with you, God. I miss worshiping with you, God. I miss clapping with you, God. I miss the anointing, God. When you do that, you will experience. So David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of David. With what? With what? With what? Oh, I told you there's no such thing as a grumpy Christian. If you're a grumpy Christian, you don't have, well, I'm going to tell you, you don't have the presence of the Lord. There's something about the presence of the Lord that, it'll make you happy. It'll satisfy you. You can be going through in life hell and high water, no water, drought, and flood, all types of stuff. But in your mind, you know that if I can just make it through the gates of the doors of the house, I would rather be get me to the door. Just get me to the door. Oh, when I get to the door, I know that I have made it to the place where his presence dwells. When I get to the door, I know that instead of being mad and sad, I I can get glad because I'm entering in with gladness. Put your hands together. You were right earlier, Deacon. Life is not going to be a flowery bed of ease and every day be sunshine. But I tell you what, whether it's sunshine out there or cloudy, the sun still has its place. And in the kingdom, no matter what we're going through, the S-O-N of God still has his place. And so that's why no matter what, I can count on the presence of God. So note that this verse tells us that this time, different now, different. This time, David, he comes with gladness. Not with pomp and circumstance. Huh? You notice when it was pomp and circumstance, read early in the chapter, oh, he broke it down. I got my cymbals, I got my timbres, I got my bass band, my musician. But when you do it God's way, just everybody show up and let's worship God. Huh? It doesn't matter in particular, you're the best singer, you're the best. I always tell Sister Julie, don't I always tell you, just come with the right attitude. Don't I say that? I know I got to hit soprano and alto and tenor and contra alto and all that. But I tell them, look, I'm going to sing a couple of keys in praise and rehearsal. I don't know what key I'm going to sing on Sunday. But I tell you what, I know my key. The key is called the key of gladness. The key of gladness. The key of gladness. I'm trying to pronounce my words when I sing superintendent. But once in a while I go Bermuda. Hey! Walking in power. Superintendent wants me to sing it like this. I'm walking in power. No. Sometimes I'm walking in power. But I'm glad. But I'm glad. But I'm glad. But I'm glad. I'm glad. Huh? Working miracles. Superintendent, working miracles, and I admire that. I'm like, I'm singing working miracles. Time I come to church, working miracles. Sing. Because you know my heart, and God knows my heart. So that girl's singing. She ain't singing the right key, but she sure means it. Yeah, I find my key. I start her. I could be on one word. I lost it on the first part of the word, and I catch it by. And to me, that attitude right there, church, it takes the pressure off of the expectation of perfectness. Watch this. Pure worship, there's nothing more perfect than that. So if you come into the house of God for worship, your key is going to be okay. Your key. Now, I do want the harmony because I got to work with it for TV. Don't say we can sing anything. No, Pastor. Amen. But this is the difference. Last time, David came in with professional music. This time he doesn't. He doesn't come in with any organized dance choreography. The only thing that mattered was I was glad. When they said unto me, come, let us go into the house of the Lord. There was gladness with gladness. That takes me to my point 2, the blessing path. Last time, David handled the presence of God irreverently. This time, David gets it right. And this is what God requires of us today. That when we get it wrong this time or that time, that the next time we get it right. She said, don't park. Don't park at your own. Don't stay there at the place where you missed it. Just get back. This is what God teaches us in His Word. Don't make excuses. Don't blame the pastor. Don't blame God. Just get it right next time. Don't risk another breach. Another death. How am I not seeing? This time, get through the threshing floor in good order. Let's look at 13. And it was so that when they that bear the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatling. Watch this. They are carrying now the ark. We're a deacon in training. Sean, come. Come this way. I want you to stand next to each other. Who I had before? Oh, I'm going to let you stay on the instrument. All right. You're carrying it. Act like you got your pearls. All right. This time, they're carrying it right. There's not a beast of burden, but we, the people of God, watch it now, we take on the burden of the presence of God. Oh, you think that God's presence is only joy? No, there's a burden. There's a weight. There's a weight because we're in a dark world. We are in a world that does not appreciate and honor God's presence. And so we, the children of God, Christians, we've got to carry it right. And so we carry it, the weight, on our shoulders. Now, okay, step back a minute. I want you to take 6 steps and stop, small steps. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This time, they stop at 6 paces. And listen, they don't sacrifice. He sacrificed. David led the sacrifice. Because this time, he says, last time I puffed myself up. This time I'm making sure that I humble myself. And so I'm going to make a sacrifice. And no small coincidence, is 6 steps, the number of man. So God, before I complete my 7th step, before I come to the place of maturity, I'm going to be thankful that this time your presence yet abides, your presence is with us, and we won't make the mistake we made last time. Now, parenthetically, or making a comparison, some of us have to understand or ask ourselves, am I on my 5th step? On my 6th step? Am I ready before I take my 7th step of maturity, my 7th step of completion? Am I ready to humble myself? David will not allow himself to be puffed up. Therefore, instead of celebrating himself, he sacrifices himself. Stay put while I meander through some of this text right here. They are bearing the ark, not animals, they are Levites. We are children of the Most High God. We have a standard. And now, you know what? Some churches, only when they drop the standard do they remember what the standard used to be. We must not drop the standard. David is teaching us that when he made the mistake, he recognized that he never wanted to be without the presence of God. He learned the lesson. They're Levites. We say we're a royal priesthood, which means that we are Levitical. We're royal. We're holy. The expectation is the same. Let me say here, churches must be very careful here. I grieve when I go to funerals, and there are those who, watch it now, read God's holy word with no reverence and with a lack of understanding. To me, to your pastor, that's you're not carrying the anointed presence of God. The word of God, that which we shoulder, must be understood to be holy and set apart. All that we do as we worship and are worshipers of God must be done with great honor and respect. What a picture. Look at them. Focused forward. You carry the presence of God. They can't be looking back at me, talking. When you carry God's presence, you're focused forward. You got a mission. There's something that needs to be demonstrated in the eyes of the public, and you stay focused. It's resting on your shoulders. You can hear the instructions of God. Your ears are attuned, not to David, But God, what would you have me to do? That's how you know that you're carrying God's presence. When you go from Monday through Saturday and it's God, how do you want me to handle this situation? God, how do you want me to move in this? God, did I do the right thing? You're handling the presence of God right. We got to show that. Thank you, deacons. Thank you much. You've got to. It's an honor. It's an honor to have to shoulder the presence of God. Talk to you some more about this honor. You don't come into the holy place, God's presence, in leggings. You can come as you are down there. The holy of her. You don't come into the holy place in leggings, tight clothing, showing your flesh. That's your path. That's how you do it. And the way that some come to church, they won't go to work. I got an issue with that. It must be God's established path of holiness unto God. If you wouldn't wear it in front of the premier, our premier bird, if you wouldn't wear it in front of Queen Elizabeth, why are you wearing it in the mighty, holy presence of the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and God? We're not going to drop the ark. Verse 13 lets us know that after each sixth step, they stopped and sacrificed. There was a stopping and a sacrifice. When we come into God's house, we stop. I got you, Holy Ghost. We stop our 6 days. We stop our man thing. I got to work for the man. I got to iron the man's clothes. We stop all that. And we say we now sacrifice all of that because we are in the presence of God. Now my sacrifice to you, God, is praise, it's honor. I glory in who you are. So before they went to the seventh stop, they sacrificed. They sacrificed at 6. They let God know that they were sorry for past mistakes and that going forward, it was not about them. It was all about God. In study, they stopped and sacrificed cows. Watch this. Created an altar from the wood of the cart. Now you want to know why God was so vexed about that cart. He said, that cart ain't to be some showpiece for you. I want to burn it. Shamana seketa. Huh? I'm not your showpiece. You're not his showpiece. Anything. No. Everything should be sacrificed. What are we placing on the cart? What have we dubbed as the cart? And it's about us. They sacrifice cows upon valuable material. So the cart they destroyed and sacrificed. The greatest of what they had, the most valuable of what they had, they said, there you go, God. It's not more valuable than you. What do you value more than God's presence? What would you rather do than worship God with high praise? What valuable are you willing to sacrifice in order to welcome in the presence of God? I can tell you, I've been a Christian since I've been 7. I can't tell you how many times I had my feelings hurt. But I tell you what, every Sunday saw me entering what? I will sacrifice my carnal feelings. I'll sacrifice my flesh because God didn't hurt me. People did. And so therefore, God, burn, Maria, burn. Now let's worship God together. Huh? Shamano. Yeah. Mom Sammy, that's how we grew up in old school. That's why the old stank. That's why we got so many super seniors here. Because they knew how to toil. Oh, not you. Come on, millennials. I hope I'm not talking about you. Come on, not these fly-by-night millennials. Oh, I'm got a right too. You don't know anything about sacrifice. You don't know about giving unto God, huh? Sacrificial worship, sacrificial praise. Why? Because David, you're still going to be king. Oh, somebody's going to get that. Somebody's going to get that. So, purpose. I'll kill my personal flesh because I got purpose. Beyond this moment of pain, God, you've got the throne for me. God, you've got a kingdom for me. God, you've got manifest destiny for me. Don't get stuck in an experience. So listen. In study, I also found it interesting that this time, David, did not let the people know that he was bringing in the presence of God. Last time, like how you all arrange parties, 6 months in advance. You know how you do. And you're good at it. Oh, well, wonderful. You know, when they had my birthday party when I went 50, you guys arrange all that. Pull out announcements. You know, weddings. Funerals are big these days. Announcements, you know. Oh, get your shirt made. Put, you know, all that, right? That was how David did it the first time. But he learned his lesson. You think God needs you to arrange for him? No. Watch this. The imagery is awesome. Watch this. So this time, he didn't let the people know that he was bringing in the presence of God. Watch it. The people were working in the fields, in the threshing floor, and they looked up, come on up in here, and they saw the ark, and it was like a 24th of May parade that weren't announced. People just, come on, people just saw David coming, saw the presence of God, and they just, come on, and they just joined. You got it? They just joined. They just joined in. They just joined in. He didn't announce it. God announced himself. His glory announced itself. Huh? Hey, I like that. Sounds Israelitic. Yeah. God presence. Let the music just be spontaneous. Oh, God. Nothing arranged. We're just enjoying you. God, that you're with us. One more time. Oh, my God. Weren't that sweet? Never discussed it with Director Ryan. Never discussed it with the Swim Band. But they just came in and put a sincere moment of praise and worship. A moment right there for the presence of God. So if you can see it, you know, it's like going on Front Street and like Front Street at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All the lunch hours are over. But they see the presence of the Lord coming. They shut down A.S. Cooper's, shut down that new building. They come out of HSBC. Everybody just, for the presence of God. Because this time, David, it's not about me and what I can do. Because God, you can do anything. So yeah, they saw the ark approaching. And when they saw the ark approaching, they stopped what they were doing and joined in the procession. An illegal march. Huh? Didn't go to government to ask for permission. No. God has sanctioned this. This is the Lord's doing. It's marvelous in our eyes. And plus, when the king is in charge, the king is in charge. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell you right now, I will want to be on Front Street when Premier David Brett marches down talking about, I'm on the battlefield for my Lord. I'm on the battlefield. Look. Call me, text me, WhatsApp me, message me. I'm coming downtown. What? That will capture every newspaper locally and internationally. Hey, when our people stop everything and give God his due. Can I get somebody for 10 seconds, 20 seconds to stop everything and give God his due? Worship God. Worship. Hey, worship. Hey, worship. Hey. Oh, God is worthy. Battlefield for my Lord. Yes, Lord. Glory, glory, glory. He's worthy, church. He's worthy. I'm telling you, he's worthy. You want to know how we're going to change Bermuda? Can't do it the normal way. Can't do it the expected way. But we got to listen to God and say, God, how do you want this done? How do we get your blessing? How does the world see that you're different? How do we get a handle on what's happening in the island of Bermuda? Oh, we can change Bermuda if Bermuda changes her mind towards God. Nothing organized. It was the spirit of sincere and authentic praise that caused the people to stop all and follow the presence of God. Now, as for David, let me read 14. And David danced before the Lord with all his might. Shh. Let me tell you something. If you don't leave church disheveled in some way, you know, you should need more antiperspirant when you leave. Sometimes, depending on the type of service we have, you need to go get a nap before you eat. You know, I take pictures primarily with my mom before church. Ain't no sense me trying to look decent after church. You know, I don't wear makeup, but I do put on a little of that powder stuff just to bring down some of the shine, Brother Lamb. But once I've shined in the presence of God and I've sweated it all out, that's just a different thing. You know, David, how do you come into the blessed presence of the Lord and remain the same? I'm suspicious of people like that. How do you remain who you are? The Bible says, and David was girded with linen ephod. Had on the best linen from Egypt. The most expensive linen there was. Yet in the presence of God, it was as nothing. I'm just so glad to have you back, God. I'm so glad to feel you, God. Oh, I missed you, God. Say, David danced with all his might. In other words, there was unrestrained praise and worship. This time, it wasn't about David and his crown. It wasn't about David and his kingly attire. All I want to do is just linen, just linen. Woo, just the most pure, sincere. I really mean it this time. I mean it. I know what it's like to be without you, Lord, and I don't like it. So therefore, I've adjusted my praise and worship. My God, can I tell somebody it's okay to adjust your praise and worship? It's okay. It's okay to you know, if you didn't praise and worship too much this week, and next week you praise and worship a lot, and somebody comes and goes, oh, you switched up. That's all right. Let them say that. No problem. Just reach this threshing floor right here. Because watch it now. Holy Ghost, just help me right here. I just said, reach this threshing floor where you are separated from who you are. Think about who I am. Oh, God, it's all about you. I learned that being who I am can cost me your presence. But if I can lose who I am, I'll find myself in you. This time, oh yeah, David is not dressed in regal kingly attire, but he was dressed in humility and holiness. This is what the linen represented. Linen comes from the word bod. It's actually spelled B-A-D, but it's bod. Oh, bod. Yeah. An emblem of, watch this, moral purity and righteousness. How should you come into God's presence? With moral purity. Yes, it matters. Clean hands, pure heart. Righteousness. No wrongness, come as you are, just say, no. In other words, this time David got it. He got it right. That it was not about him, it was all about God. 15. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouting and the sound of the trumpet. I can't go into that, but it didn't mention the timbrels and the cymbals, just said trumpet. In other words, that which when blown signifies that it's time for war. Come on up in here. That's the only instrument I need right here. We're going on the battlefield. Huh? I'm going on the battlefield for my Lord. Can you imagine the sounds of joy and gladness? It's in this atmosphere now. You got the atmosphere, you saw it. That we read the next verse, verse 16. And as the ark, listen to me, and as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David. Now, his reaching the home stretch. You know, just like when you do the 24th of May run. Ain't too many of you in here don't know 24th of May. When a few of you did. You get, from what I hear, you get like, when you see the finish line, you get a burst of energy. Plus, you know, the cameras and everything out there, you go. But you get a burst of energy. Like, oh, you know, Front Street, you're cool because you're waving to people, a lot of them, right? Get up by, Cedar Park, maybe? Cedar Park Avenue? Cedar Avenue. You're like, whoo, get me there, Lord, get me there, get me there, Lord. Get me there. Right, get around, where's Marsh Friday? Where are we next? Who? Get around the tennis stadium, you go, tennis stadium, okay, tennis stadium. Got your earbuds in. Song, take me through, song, take me through. Get around the corner. Oh, Donnie Hill. And people start clapping. You see the finish line. Looking good. Already paying out the window. This is like what will happen. Yes. Okay, keep on playing. Chariots of fire. Dr. Woods, that's what we had at our graduation music from the Berkeley Institute in 1982. Still playing in 1982. You see how you all make my sermons longer? This is how it was felt. His reaching the city of David. Nobody else's city but his city, the royal city, Jerusalem, David's city. Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window, saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. His joyful. That stupid man. That fool. Where his That's not the rap I put out for him this morning, idiot. Where'd he go? He just doesn't know. That's what happens when you give these people power. They know how to dress, not that. Look at him, fool. See? So understand, church. Always going to be somebody at Michal's window. Always going to be somebody when you're full. Oh, I'm going to help you here. You're full of joy, praising God, worshiping in his presence. Always going to be somebody at the window. Silly people. And she's got a title. And she's named doctor. And all that. Huh? So she despised him. Didn't just have a momentary problem with him. Right? Despising, that's a whole new level. She despised him. Comes from the word bizarre. Hey, quite bizarre. I heard y'all was trying to copy the laugh now. This word despise, bizarre, means this. Obviously to despise, held in contempt. How? She got to held the king in contempt. What kind of power she thinks she has? I'll talk about that in a minute. Held in contempt, disdain, consider worthless. Really? Really? You consider David worthless? Okay. Yet there is nothing more repulsive to our God than a person in the midst of his presence, denying his presence and refusing to join in on his presence. I'm going to help you out here. Something I've never seen in my life. I'm going to help you in a minute. Verse 17 through 19. 17 through 19. And they brought in the ark of the Lord and set it in his place in the midst of the tabernacle that David had pitched for it. And David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. And as soon as David had made an end of offering burnt offerings and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts. And he dwelt among all the people, even among the whole multitude of Israel, as well to the women as man, everyone a cake of bread and a good piece of flesh. That's like beef ribs. Ain't no cheap meat. Trap sirloin. Sirloin. Okay? Sirloin. Piece of flesh and a flagon of wine. So all the people, see, now you know, see that word sow again? A lot happens just before the sow. Because he's given out to thousands of people. So all the people departed everyone to his house. Everybody went to their house with a blessing. Everybody went to their house with an overflow of the blessing. Everybody went to the house with an overflow of the anointing that was upon the house of David. One of the most endearing qualities of King David was his way of paying attention to the people. I love it. He paid attention. Not just the rich, not just those with position. David took care of all the people. Now I need you to remember something. Some of you will. Recall that in the past, David had made a law of sorts. That when he won a battle, you know, getting the presence of God back is a battle you win. Yay! Huh? If you ever were without God, if you ever sat through a whole service and didn't smile, sing, to get God's presence back, you just won a battle. So anyway, he showed us that when he won a battle, he would bless all. Not just those who have fought in the battle. If you want to read back, that's 1 Samuel 30, verses 20 through 31. So, remember, the soldiers, some were weary, and they didn't go to fight. But when he brought back all the spoils, he says, and because these boys were like, why are you giving to them? They didn't fight. David said, no, I bless all the people. So the mindset of David is whenever we win, we bless everyone. Can we do that, church? That when we win, everybody gets blessed. David believes in blessing all, and yet we have a situation. Got a situation. You know, that's my favorite commercial. Point number 3, my shortest point, the blessing prohibition. 20 and 21. Then David returned to bless his household. And Michal, look at the way the Bible says it. Listen. The daughter of Saul. Didn't say his wife. Didn't say his sweetie pie, his honey bunny, his sugar plum. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said, let me try to say it how she would say it. How glorious was the king of Israel today, who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants. as one of the vain fellows shamelessly, should be ashamed of yourself, shamefully uncovereth himself. Listen to David. Listen to David. And David said unto Michal, it was before the Lord which chose me before thy father. Let's set this straight. And before all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, over Israel. Therefore will I play before the Lord. I'm going to play before the Lord. I'm going to be as happy as I want to be. I'm going to skip. I'm going to shout. I'm going to uncover myself. What you called me? Shamelessly? Poor you. You have an issue, woman. In other words, watch this. What will stop you from being blessed? I got A, B, and C for you. What will stop you from being blessed? A, being a window watcher. A window watcher. In other words, refusing to join in the move. Refusing to join in the move of God. You would rather watch and criticize, watch from your high place, and refusing to join the high praise unto God, looking down on others as they worship God. B, being a sarcastic sinner. In other words, you don't love praise and worship to God like we do. So what makes you think you can come against those of us who do? People can talk about us all they want. They don't know how I feel. They don't know what the Lord has done for me, my testimony. C, being a covenant crusher. In other words, when you refuse to put your husband first and instead identify yourself as being connected to your father first. Saul's daughter and not David's wife. Sometimes we think the war is over. War ain't over. Saul in a grave somewhere, but his daughter's still fighting. And at this point, hold the top of my, there you go. At this point, it's David versus Saul. David's still fighting Saul because it's fighting Saul's daughter, who, watch it now, has an issue with David. Just like her daddy. You think Ivanka Trump I'll leave that alone. So where David, watch this now, David thought he had killed every giant. He now discovers he's married to a giant. I'm going to help you out here. Keep holding. I need somebody to help a male. Come here, Brother Herman. Come hold this here. This is serious stuff right here. This is the point. I'm going to show you something. Okay, yeah. Oh, it was good because you two were holding the ark, right? Earlier, right. Listen, let me work this out in my mind. So David now has learned how to handle God's presence right. God's presence has resulted in him being blessed. And because David is a true servant of God, David doesn't hog the blessing. He shares the blessing. And so the blessing is flowing down from the anointed one whom God anointed with the shofar, with the oil. He reaches his home. And the one that he is connected to, the one that he wants to bless, the one that he wants to make sure, hey, I bless every household for sure. Tonight. Oh, I know it's on a commercial. Gonna make it right. Tonight. Oh! You know, give me some Luther Vandross. Hold on a minute. How you shouting that loud, Brother Kenny? I ain't heard you that loud all during my sermon. So, I have to make it clear, he has sent every person to their house with a blessing. He's left himself to last. Isn't that what a true leader does? I make sure everybody else is fed, everybody else is happy. Now I can sit down and relax in my own home. A dead soul is still alive in his daughter, Michal. I conclude the message with a powerful revelation. This is it right here. The sermon today was birthed because David had placed his own self above God. He had dishonored the I am. David had dishonored God, but now he's got it right. He's placing